Good evening. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park. I'm Mayor Bianca Motley Broom, and all council members are present. We have a full quorum. It is 7:30 p.m. And so I am calling the meeting to order at this time. Our first item of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our next item of business is the invocation that will be handled by Chaplain Dent this evening.
And the citizens of College Park, it's good to see you. Let us pray. Almighty God, God of love, peace, and justice, we thank you that you have preserved our lives, granted health and prosperity to many of us. For all your blessings known and unknown to us, we bless your holy name. As we come together for this council meeting, we thank you for all our city officials, for the city of College Park, our mayor and council members, as they represent us. We are so grateful for them and the various department staff who serve diligently, especially in this COVID-19 era. There are many items on the forthcoming agendas. So Lord, please give all participants who are involved in this meeting the insight and knowledge that is necessary to enhance the life of the citizens of College Park. We pray for the peace and tranquility of our state and nation. Grant that those who hold power, influence, and great responsibility may seek your guidance and rely upon your aid. Remember all public servants who serve the city tirelessly and keep them sheltered under your presence. Bless all businesses, our homes, and our children. Guard and prosper them. Heal the sick and be of comfort to those who sorrow. We thank you, God, for answering prayers. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, in the name of Jesus, amen.
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 Item number 2 is additions, deletions, amendments, or changes to the agenda. Are there any this evening?
Amen.
All right. Next item is the presentation of the minutes. Item 3A is the regular session minutes from September 20th. Is there a motion to approve those?
I move to approve.
All right. I believe I've got one change on that one. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. Thank you, Councilman Taylor. It is on line. Give me one moment here. It's towards the end. Yes, line 604. It says, and thanks to Trainer Guy. It's actually train, TRAIN space OR, next word space DIE. It's Trainer Dye Compound. They were the group that was making sure that everybody was all stretched out for the Old National 5K. So any other changes on that?
Oh.
Okay. All right. There's been a motion and a second. Still willing to move forward with that amendment?
I so moved.
All right. Great. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, great. I heard all 4. Thank you. That is unanimous. Item 3B is the workshop session minutes from September 20th.
Also move to approve.
All right. Is there a second on that one?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Taylor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. That is unanimous as well. Item 4A is the introduction of new employees by the Director of Human Resources and Risk Management, Ms. Krista Gilbert.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and Council. I would like to introduce our new hires for the month of August. We have Lisa Swan, who's the Executive Assistant to Mayor and Council, Randy Hunter, who's Building and Grounds Superintendent, Ashley Houston, Assistant Recreation Leader, Sonia Harrell, Executive Assistant to City Manager, Tamithia Morris, Cashier, and Alex Skitty. I'm probably pronouncing his name incorrectly, but he's the golf course manager. And those are our new hires for the month of August.
Welcome aboard, guys.
Absolutely. Welcome to the family.
Welcome. Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Gilbert. Item 4B is a presentation of a proclamation designating October 2021 as National Arts and Humanities Month in the City of College Park. Let me go ahead and read this proclamation. Whereas the impact of COVID-19 on the arts and cultural sector of the United States proved to be devastating, the $919.7 billion industry supports 5.2 million jobs and boasts a $33 billion international trade surplus. And whereas by March 2020, most cultural institutions across the world were indefinitely closed, or at least their services radically curtailed, with in-person exhibitions, events, and performances being canceled. And whereas after more than a year and during the pandemic, the arts and cultural industries remain amongst the hardest hit. Nowhere has the effect been more direct, deep, and immediate than on the performing arts. And whereas the arts and humanities play a unique role in the lives of every American, helping diverse communities across the United States explore their history and culture. It embodies much of the accumulated wisdom, intellect, and imagination. And whereas as this industry continues its road to recovery, by facilitating their journey through the creation of new guidelines, funding, grants, sharing of stories and insights, we believe in the importance of participation. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park, Georgia, do hereby recognize October as National Arts and Humanities Month, proclaimed this 4th day of October 2021. And I believe that we are doing a number of things in recognition of National Arts and Humanities Month, and our fabulous Main Street manager, Ms. Coakley, can give us a little bit more insight on some of the things that are going on in our great city of College Park.
Yes, ma'am. So first of all, most importantly, we have students from the local schools that provided art, and we have a display in City Hall, as well as several other businesses in the Main Street program area. So there were maps placed in City Hall on today, have the locations listed, and on the back side it has the names of the students for each of those pieces. So I would advise everyone to please pick up a map and go visit all these businesses while viewing some wonderful art. I know Mina's Wig Shop, they put theirs in their display windows on today, and Miss Rose Dance Closet has some in there, and the Wellness Spot. So there are several businesses that participated and looking to grow this in the next years and the years to come. So that's one initiative. And then we have of course, our mural on Main Street that will be wrapped up within the next couple of weeks. Hopefully by next Saturday, it should be completed, and we will be doing a big event for that. So we have that. And then we also added public art to Main Street and downtown. So a couple of initiatives that we put in place for this month, and looking forward to it being successful.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Any questions for Ms. Coakley?
We've also got a new art right across from Cafe on the corner there.
Corner Grill, yes, that's
Corner
the
Grill,
art.
I'm sorry.
Right, that's the art structure on Main Street. So it's called Nucleus, and there will be a template added to it in the next couple of days that describes what that piece means or meant to the artist, and it ties into all that we're doing in the Main Street program area and all of College Park. So I'm excited to have it.
Great.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for all of your efforts. We're looking forward to a lot of great programming and fantastic things to come on Main Street. All right, so we're moving on to item 4C. It's a presentation of a proclamation designating October 3rd through the 9th, 2021 as Public Power Week and Green Power Week in the city of College Park. Whereas College Park Power provides our homes, businesses, and local government agencies with reliable, clean, efficient, and cost-effective electricity, employing sound business practices designed to ensure the best possible service at not-for-profit rates. And whereas College Park Power has power resources that are 92% emissions free and has taken on additional stewardship for our community's well-being through a Green Power Initiative, the first and largest municipal program of its kind in the state of Georgia, started in 2004. And whereas College Park Power's Green Power program encourages cleaner energy solutions through voluntary consumer contributions, so we can provide a healthier environment while still powering homes and businesses throughout College Park. Now, therefore, be it resolved that College Park Power will continue to work to bring lower cost, safe, reliable, and clean electricity to community homes and businesses, just as it has since its creation shortly after the incorporation of the city in 1896, to serve all the citizens of College Park. And be it further resolved that the week of October 3rd through October 9th be designated the 35th annual Public Power Week and 18th annual Green Power Week in order to honor College Park Power for its contributions to the community and to make its consumer owners, policymakers, and employees more aware of its contributions to their well-being. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the mayor and city council of the city of College Park do hereby proclaim that the week of October 3rd through 9th, 2021 be designated as Public Power and Green Power Week, proclaim this 4th day of October, 2021. Mr. Richardson, you and your team do so very, very much to make sure that electricity is flowing to all of our homes and our businesses throughout the city, and we could not be more grateful for your day in, day out efforts. If you'd like to tell us a little bit about the week itself and more about College Park Power, the floor is yours.
Yeah, Mayor, thank you. Yeah, we'll be celebrating this week. In fact, the whole nation will be at the public power facilities. About 2011 of them will be this week, and trying to get more information out about the benefits of public power. In Georgia, we have 52 public power entities, 49 that receive that power from Hvac. And I think the one thing that we can brag about is our emissions-free power source. And that has become very important to industries and businesses. And these data companies love it. They'd rather buy all the emission-free power as they can. So we will be trying to get the information out. I got information to Gerald. We got our banner up, your SunTrust, and we'll see how it goes this week and get more information out.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, sir. Anyone want to add anything?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay, council?
Yes, I'd just like to say it's amazing how quickly we get the power back on. And we have a lot of trees and a lot of lines go down, and yet the outage time is very, very short. And some of the things that we've got in our power network that allow us to reconfigure it so that if a line goes down in one area, it may take out power to the houses right near it, but the rest of the area can be backfed through another line, which I'm not sure how many other communities have that flexibility as much as we do, but I'm amazed at the flexibility we do have.
And Councilman, I'll be bringing you before too long some automation.
I just like to say, thank you to your crew, Glenn Spivey, all the people that work for you. We take it for granted that, the power is on all the time, but when we have storms and we have winds and we have rain and the power goes out, these people go out, they're climbing poles, they're on their trucks, they're out in the rain. So, hats off to every single one of your folks. They're very, very much appreciated.
Thank you, Councilman.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Richardson. All right, item 4D is a presentation of a proclamation designating October 3rd through 9th, 2021 as National Fire Prevention Week in the city of College Park. Whereas Fire Prevention Week will be observed throughout the United States, Sunday, October 3rd through Saturday, October 9th, 2021. Whereas the theme for this year's National Fire Prevention Week is Learn the Sounds of Fire Safety. This year's theme grew out of the increased attention received of alarm notifications being heard in the background of people's homes during remote learning and work. Recognizing the different sounds alarms make and the action needed based on that sound is critical to preventing injury and death from fire. This year's theme also pays particular attention to smoke and carbon monoxide alarms and alert devices that meet the needs of people who are deaf or hard of hearing. These include strobe lights, low frequency alarms, and bed or pillow shakers, which activate at the sound of the alarm. Whereas the College Park Fire and Rescue Department is dedicated to saving lives and protecting all who live and visit the great city of College Park, this week we will be providing fire prevention education classes, installing smoke alarms, car safety seats, and reinforcing fire safety principles throughout the city. Whereas taking simple safety precautions, such as encouraging every home to look for and correct potential fire hazards, have working smoke alarms, and have and practice an escape plan in case of fire. Our goal is to encourage safety and prevent fire deaths And whereas the mayor and council of the city of College Park are in strong support of the efforts of the College Park Fire and Rescue Department, and whereas the mayor and council call upon each resident and visitor of the city of College Park to observe Fire Prevention Week with appropriate programs and activities and renew efforts to prevent fire and their tragic consequences for human health and safety. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the mayor and council of the city of College Park, Georgia, that the week of October 3rd through October 9th, 2021 is hereby proclaimed Fire Prevention Week. Further, the mayor and city council of the city of College Park do hereby commend the College Park Fire Department for its outstanding efforts and service in the protection of the residents of the city of College Park, and particularly for its efforts during Fire Prevention Week, proclaimed this 4th day of October, 2021. I can't think of a group that does more to help our residents than our first responders, and the fire rescue group is just an outstanding group of individuals who work not only this week, but every week to make sure that we are safe and sound and have all the education that we need around so many of these topics. Chief Elmore, I'd love to give you the floor to give you an opportunity to give us some more insights.
Well, thank you, Mayor and Council. As we know, in fires, nearly every second counts. And when this week we're planning on providing fire safety education to daycares and the schools throughout the city of College Park. But also it's not just for school kids, it's also for the adults and teenagers. Fire safety is very important. One of the things that we're going to be doing this week is providing smoke alarms into single family residential structures, homes. And all they have to do is call 404-766-8248. And our firemen will come out and install smoke alarms in all homes. And like I said, we thank you for your all support, Mayor and Council, and we just want everybody to stay safe.
Thank you so much, Chief. Did anyone have anything else they wanted to add?
I'd just like to say that, and over this last 2 years, they've been doing all this effective, tremendous job in spite of COVID-19. And I believe, Chief, that virtually everybody on the force is trained in paramedics.
Not everyone. As a matter of fact, out of the 67 positions, we have approximately 20 firefighters that are trained as paramedics, including myself. Yes, sir.
I just like to, thank you, your staff, fire marshal, everybody, again, for everything they do every day. Like Councilman Clay said, with COVID, everybody is being inside, everybody is sheltering in place, except for the fire. I mean, they are out there, the police are out there, and they go out no matter what the incident and take care of business. So again, thank you for all your crew. We appreciate everything you do.
You're welcome. Mayor, I also just wanted to make note that this month is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And if you will notice, this month, our firefighters will be wearing their pink badges and pink engravement on their shirts. We did provide you all with a few golf shirts, and I see Councilman Gay and Councilman Taylor, I think they have theirs on today. So just want to, again, thank you all for y'all support for allowing us to do this.
Thank you, Chief. We appreciate
Thank
you
you.
and your entire crew. Thank you. All right, moving on. Item number 5 is remarks of citizens. Ms. Moore.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The first remark is from Kathleen McQueen, and I will start my timer. And it reads, good evening, Mayor and Council. I noticed on the agenda once again a report on questionable activities within the establishments on Old National. Over the years, I have noticed the blind eye of businesses on Old National. I recall asking a former councilman why Central Station was allowed back in the city. I received a lax response from the former councilman. They could not stop a restaurant from coming into College Park. Central Station was problematic on Main Street and it moved back to College Park in 2019. No way should it have been allowed to reopen. Change needs to happen on Old National, and on Old National, it is a diamond in the rough. Think of the proximity of Old National to the airport. There should be reputable businesses, restaurants, and hotels. This is mixed tax revenue for the city. Not to mention shifting the reputation of being Old Natty Trap Road. Mayor and council, this is our city. We are poised to be a powerful, positive destination. Old National should be filled with amenities similar to Buford Highway, or imagine a farmer's market similar to the Cab Farmer's Market, or a live place similar to Peachtree City. The opportunities could be limitless. It's time for thinking outside the box to remove the down low clubs / restaurants with shady activities in our city. I believe in this city and so should you. Please do not let businesses like this continue in our city. We are so much more than this. As mayor and council, your role is to define the strategic vision. There are so many businesses that work hard to abide by the ordinances of the city. Let's get other businesses that want to move to the level of ethical greatness. Bottom line, each ward councilman, you are accountable for how you move this city. Park your egos and work for the citizens. Thank you for your time. Okay, and I have 2 additional comments, but they were submitted after the deadline. So I have no other comments.
All right, thank you, Ms. Moore. We have folks, if you wish to speak, you may have the opportunity to do so if you haven't signed up for 1 minute. I see one hand, and if you wish to, I see a second hand. All right, so we've got 2 folks ready to speak for 1 minute each. Ms. Wilson, Audrey Wilson, feel free, go right ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, Mayor and Council, and my awesome neighbors of College Park. I am Audrey Wilson, 2024 Simmons. On today, I received a phone call from someone at City Hall that said I was acting as a third party because I encouraged my neighbors to call in and request applications for the COVID utility assistance. This person also informed me that I could not even give my neighbors the phone number to call, that they would have to get that on their own. It caused me much despair, and I am asking council and the mayor for guidance and clarity on this, because we are humans, we are neighbors, we are College Park. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. The next speaker is Stanley Muhammad. You have 1 minute, sir.
Mr. Muhammad, you may unmute yourself, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Assalamu alaikum, may God's peace be upon you. There's a scripture that I would like to share real quickly. 1 Corinthians 15:53. For this corruptible, pardon me, must put on incorruption. And I want to make sure that we eliminate corruption in our city. And I would like to say that we need to investigate all of the things that's being said from mayor and council. And one thing, Ambrose Clay keeps mentioning the COVID-19 vaccination. It's erroneous to call it a vaccination. It's an experiment. And there's a plethora of people dying and being ill. And I should not hear anyone promote something to the citizens and not unless you are sure that it's actually beneficial to the citizens.
Thank you, sir. If anyone else wishes to speak, they can raise their hand. All right. I don't see anyone else wishing to speak, so at this time, we will go ahead and move forward. Item 6A on the agenda is Mayor and Council's consideration in appointing a College Park Business and Industrial Development Authority Board member to represent Ward 4. It's my understanding that Celisa Jefferson is the nomination of Councilman Gay. Is that correct, sir? Councilman Gay? He has stepped away. It looks like. So what we're going to go ahead and move to item 6B. And when he returns, if someone would let me know, we'll circle back around to item 6A. Item 6B is consideration of an action to ratify the city manager's recommendations regarding the alcoholic beverage violations at 4855 Old National Highway, that is Central Station. Madam Interim City Manager.
Yes, ma'am. We held a hearing with the city attorneys as well as the management of that facility, and we are recommending a 90-day cancellation of their liquor license and a $5,000 fee.
Any questions for Ms. Miller?
Did Ms. Wilcox attend the meeting?
No.
Did anyone from Central Station attend the meeting?
Yes. We had one of the owners, one of the owners and two attorneys.
Any other questions for Ms. Miller? All right, hearing none, is there a motion?
I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Clay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, that vote is unanimous. The city manager's recommendation is ratified. We're back on 6A. Councilman Gay, it's my understanding Celisa Jefferson is your recommendation for, or your nomination for BIDA. Is that correct? I'm sorry, Councilman Taylor, hold on one second. Councilman Gay, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, thank you. I heard Councilman Allen first. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Councilman Taylor? I think we might be having some connectivity issues. What is your vote?
Yes.
You're voting in favor? Yes, sir, I can hear you. What is your vote on this?
Yes. Okay. I voted yes.
So, okay, that is a unanimous vote. Then.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
it's a little choppy, but
Yes.
you're voting in favor of Ms. Jefferson, yes? Is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. That is unanimous. Thank you. So we're moving on to item 6C, consideration of an action on a request from the College Park Main Street Association to host a wine stroll event. This is a one-time special event to be held on October 4th through 7th. 4th through 7th?
October 21st.
Yeah, that's a typo
not
there.
correct.
That's not, yeah. That,
The 21st, isn't it?
I
Correct.
believe so. I believe it is the 21st.
4 to 7 p.m. on the 21st.
There we go. All right.
I'll move to approve that.
All right. Thank you, Councilman Clay. Is there a second?
I'll
Second.
I think I heard Councilman Gay first. Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Coakley?
I think there's also going to be a band or music.
Yes, sir. The Cultural Arts and Recreation Committee will be, they will have jazz on the lawn of the auditorium on that same evening from 6 to 8 p.m. And then the wine stroll will be from 4 to 7, so they'll overlap.
Right, so stroll on down to the city auditorium.
There you go.
I think it's going to be a great evening. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That was all 4 of you, gentlemen. Thank you very much. It's unanimous. Item 6D is discussion of the proposed millage rate and approval of recommended rate for advertisement for fiscal year 2021, 2022. Ms. Lord Bradley?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This request is to update the dates for the notice of public hearings. We initially had the dates starting, the first public hearing should have been held September 20th as we advertised. However, we missed that date, so we are pushing back all dates one meeting, with the first public meeting, the first public hearing being held today at 6 p.m. The second public hearing will be held on October 18th at 6 o'clock during workshop. And the final public hearing will be held at the regular council meeting on November 1st at 7:30 p.m.
Is if this is just a discussion and there is no action?
Well,
or
we're just requesting that you approve the new notice for hearing dates, public hearing dates. That's about it.
So moved.
All right. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Councilman Allen.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, thank you. That's unanimous. Item 6E is consideration of an action on a request for approval to submit an application on behalf of the City of College Park for the Law Enforcement and First Responders $1,000 supplement grant. I'm surprised
Mayor,
there's this much of a pause. Oh, I was going to say, this is a no-brainer. This is a
no-brainer. Yeah.
We're just we're looking for approval for council so that we can go out and apply for the grants for our law enforcement and first responders. We have about 132 eligible employees. So with the council's approval, we will initiate the application process.
Well, I'll move for the no-brainer, and then I have a question afterwards.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Taylor. Go right ahead, Councilman Clay.
I read an article in the newspaper today that said there are a large number of cities in the United States that have only used a small amount of the grant money from the federal government that has been made available. I find that really, really hard to believe, but from our standpoint, I think we've used about every penny that we could, and well, we'll hear later on the agenda that we're doing real well on the utility area. So I'd like to commend staff for moving along, getting things in on time, doing what you need to do to get these grants so that we can get them approved and get the money. And greatly appreciate it, and I'm sure the citizens appreciate it as well. Absolutely.
I would second, third, fourth that. There's a lot of work, a lot of legwork in a lot of this in these grant requests. And we appreciate the fact that staff is working together to make sure that we are at the table and everyone knows that we're out there trying to get all the resources we can for the City of College Park. So thank you so much. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, that is unanimous. All right. Ms. Fleur Bradley, this is just your stretch of the agenda. Items 6D and 6E were yours. Items F, G, and H are all yours as well. So if anyone has any particular objections, if she wants to sort of discuss all of those at the same time, if you're okay with that, we can just kind of handle them all at the same time.
Let's roll.
All right, Ms. Fleur Bradley, go right ahead.
Only item I have any news on is the College Park Utility Assistance Grant Program update. As of Friday, October 1st, we are no longer accepting applications for the Utility Assistance Grant. To date, we have awarded $465,185.52 in funds. We've incurred $51,726.99 in administrative expenses as of 6/30/2021. So there are 35 applications up for approval and about 40 additional applicants waiting on an appointment. So our total, the total funds we have available is $600,000. We've exceeded the $500,000 mark. So with the number of applications waiting for approval and additional administrative expenses, we think we will hit or exceed that $600,000 mark. For those that still need to apply for the utility assistance grant, Fulton and Clayton County do have funds available, and you can still apply through the Fulton County and Clayton County website for assistance for those that still need it, if you have not received an assistance, any grants from the city as of yet. The link can be found on the city website at www.collegeparkga.com. Hover over the government's title and click on the utility assistance COVID-19 link, and you should find the Fulton County or Clayton County link to apply for their utility assistance grant. So I think next meeting, perhaps we will have a final tally of where we are, and that should be the last for the utility assistant grant, unless Fulton County awards us more money to give out.
Thank you so much, Ms. Fleur Bradley. Any
You're welcome.
questions for Ms. Fleur Bradley on items 6F, G, or H?
I had a comment on 6F.
Okay.
I just had a comment on, she's looking for the tax consultant for Village at College Park, and I can provide that with you tomorrow. I met with the new owners.
I'm sorry?
On the Village at College Park on the delinquents tax, it says you're researching for the new contact number, the previous. And I was just saying I met the new owners. I can provide you their contact information tomorrow.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, anything else on items 6F, G, or H? Hearing nothing, we're going to move along. Item 7A is a request to set a public hearing to adopt the City of College Park's 2021 Comprehensive Plan Update. The plan was approved by the Georgia Department of Community Affairs on September 8th, 2021, and by the Atlanta Regional Commission on September 13th, 2021. Ms. Washington?
Everyone, DCA and ARC both approved our comprehensive plan draft that we sent over to them. So there are no changes from the last draft that you saw. If you have any comments before the public hearing, we'd like to set it for the next meeting, the 18th.
All right, any questions or comments from Ms. Washington?
I have one comment, Ms. Washington.
Go right ahead, Councilman Gay.
It's a very nice report, but I had asked if there was any way, I guess I should have provided you some content for some of the images from Ward 4. I didn't see any of that in it.
Sure. If you have some specific images you want in there, Councilman Gay, we can look at switching some of them out for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, is there a motion?
Move to set the hearing.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Gay. Any questions, comments? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, gentlemen. That's unanimous. Item 7B is a public hearing to consider the rezoning of 3120 Godby Road from R1 low density residential to RM multifamily residential zoning. That is in Ward 2. Ms. Washington, the floor is yours once more.
Okay, so this is a little bit of a weird one. We're doing something different we haven't done before. These will be approved. If approved tonight, these will be considered detached condos under the RM multifamily residential district. I worked with the attorneys to make sure we can do that. So the recommended condition to have the homeowners association or condominium association will be required under the ordinance. So if you do decide to approve it, and of course, I recommend you do all of the conditions that are on there, but that one in particular will have to be a part of this approval in order for it to be a part of the RM multifamily residential zoning. These are cottage homes. There's a similar project in Clarkston. It is, I provided the link in your packets as well. It has been very successful. So we wanted to see if this is something College Park might be interested in doing. The applicants are here on the call tonight. They will also need to go before the variance board in order to get a reduction for the unit size. Because as we know, we don't allow stuff quite this small in College Park, so they will have to get a variance for that. But they're also on the call if we have any questions for them or if you have any questions for me.
Thank you, Ms. Washington. Mr. Jones Jennings, I see you there. Anyone else from the project?
I think Booker is here as well. He's level-minded capital investment.
Okay. All right. Good evening. Did the two of you have anything that you wanted to add?
We had a video that we would have Ms. Washington play for you. I don't think if she could launch it or if it's in your packet, displaying the community. But in describing what Ms. Washington has planned, again, this is something different as a micro home cottage community, again, to provide homeowners at a more affordable price, more of what we call a pocket community, which would be, I think, new for College Park. It has been successful in what we like to call pocket communities of Metro Atlanta. Clarkston's one of them. Other major cities within the United States are applying this form of residential living to allow, one, affordability, but two, a form of community living, which is a little bit different than your standard townhome community living for density. And so we'll be happy to play what the community will look like if Ms. Washington has that or available in your packet.
So I do have the video, but I did send it to Shavela if that's easier. I'm not sure if I
Yes, I do
can
have it.
share.
1 second, let me get it over here. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much for playing that. And again, this would be a unique pocket community that we would want to have in College Park. It's shown a lot of success, both for sustainability, as sustainability will be a part of our build here. I know we've answered some questions from different members of the council from last meeting, but happy to answer any questions here about South Park Cottages.
All right. Thank you, sir. Any questions from the body?
I just did one quick question. You've got all the small houses that are there. And I asked this earlier to Ms. Washington, but when you have trash pickup, that will be picked up at a dumpster, or will that be picked up at each house?
No, it will be picked up at dumpster service.
Okay.
All right, Councilman Gay, I think you had a question.
Yes.
Is that right? Go ahead.
It may have been answered, so I apologize, but what is the price point and what is the square footage?
The starting price point will be at 160,000, and the square footage to start is a minimum of 350 square foot.
And it goes up to 680 square feet to the biggest floor plan.
I got all my questions earlier, so I'm good.
All right. Well, at this time, I will go ahead and declare the public hearing open. I'm sorry, Councilman Taylor, go right ahead.
Okay, I looked over this thing. I don't think this for Ward 2. I think if we can put this, and we vote to do this citywide, then that's something totally different. But I just don't think this is what we want to see on the end of Godby Road down there.
All right. So the public hearing is open, and Ms. Moore, can you tell people how they can participate?
Yes, ma'am. They can go to www.collegeparkga.com, click on government, then go to city council meetings. In about the middle of the page, you will see a link to click on. Once you click that link, you will be in this meeting. Please raise your hand to be acknowledged. Once you are acknowledged, you can speak and leave your public comment.
All right. So we'll give some people a few moments to get, oh, I see one hand already. And so I see a second hand. So as you log on, go ahead and raise your hand. I will take them in the order that they are listed. And the first person who has raised their hand is Ms. Audrey Wilson.
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. And I would like to go on record and ask that Mayor and Council approve this development. We talk a lot about homeownership and the investment that citizens who own their homes has in the community. I think that this would be great for Godby Road. When we think about changes and we think about something that has never been done, it seems revolutionary, but I think that we need this type of change to start to change those dynamics in the southern part of our city. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be exciting, and I hope that you guys will support it and approve it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Ms. Jefferson.
Ms. Jefferson, you may unmute, ma'am.
Looks like Ms. Jefferson's having some audio issues. Ms. Jefferson, if you'd like, you can insert your comments into the chat box, and I'll go ahead and read those if the audio portion is not working. Make sure that those get read into the record. If anyone else wishes to speak in regard to this public hearing of the rezoning of 3120 Godby Road from R1 low density residential to RM multifamily residential zoning, feel free to raise your hand. I want to make sure to give Ms. Jefferson an opportunity to, since the audio portion is not working. All right. Ms. Jefferson said, I would like to know how the subdivision common area will be maintained, and will the residents have maintenance-free living?
We will have an HOA.
Yep. Thank you, Ms. Jefferson, for your question. The community will be HOA maintained, so all common area spaces will be maintained by the association. Fees collected from the homeowners. So the maintenance of all common areas, they will still maintain their actual property that they own, but we will maintain all common areas in green space for the residents.
All right. Anyone else with any questions? Anyone wishing to speak during this public hearing?
Are these houses that will be owned that people could rent out to somebody else, or, I think about an Airbnb when I see these. Will they be rent it out to other folks or?
Well, the city of College Park made it clear that they didn't want it to be a rental community, and Airbnb is actually, illegal in College Park. So these will be homeowners, and that's why we have the HOA in place, and that's why we want to push homeownership with this affordable housing product.
I think there was a cap on the number that I think 4 of them.
We put a restriction. Yes, Mayor, we deliberately put a restriction in there so that, if someone has to, I don't know, go overseas, say for a year or something, they could rent out their property, but it is limited to a small percentage and to be enforced by the homeowners group. We deliberately put that in.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay.
All right. Anyone else wishing to speak in regard to public comment? Seeing none, I'm going to declare the public hearing closed. All right. At this time, is there a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, Councilman Gay, thank you. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Oppose.
I think I'll oppose it.
Okay. And that leaves it down to me as the tiebreaker. I vote in favor. The motion passes. All right, item 7C. It's a public hearing to consider the rezoning of 0 Roosevelt Highway, parcel number listed right there, from C2 Community Business to RM Multifamily Residential Zoning District. Ms. Washington?
All right, so this is a proposal to rezone this property for a affordable housing development. They call it workforce housing, which I think there was some confusion during our last meeting when we were setting this public hearing. All that means is it's through a program through DCA that you have to be in a certain income bracket in order to qualify for this type of housing. So we do have the applicants on the phone today. They can tell you a little bit more about that, how they apply for that program, their long-term ownership that they'll have to do as a part of that. Similar to another project we approved that the United Methodist Church is doing on Harvard. Similar apartment situation to that. That was already zoned for multifamily, but this would be a similar project down here. Also, I think important to point out, if we can hit the next slide, I saw that my map is in there. Yeah, so this is where this property is. There was small confusion about the location. It is on a little bit of an island surrounded by the city of South Fulton. The only neighbor it has, the only adjacent neighbor, is a nonprofit organization that did provide a letter of support for this project, and they are actually going to be partnering with this developer as well. Now, there was some confusion. They're not the only partner, right? This is still open to the public. Anybody can apply to live here should they qualify, but they're going to support each other as they move forward and develop this property. Also, I think important to point out that the city of South Fulton, they also recently updated their comprehensive plan. They're on the same timeline as us, and they have this area zoned along fronting Roosevelt Highway here for multifamily development. So it would fit well into their comprehensive plan as well. And yeah, so we have the applicant on the phone. If anybody has any questions for me or questions for them, please feel free.
All right, any questions for Ms. Washington or the applicant?
These are going to be apartments, is this correct?
Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry. Yes, my name is Sarah Buckner. I work for TBG Residential, the development group. And yes, these are multifamily apartments, garden style homes.
Any other questions?
We, just like we had in the requirements for the cottage homes, We also have in the requirements, I believe for this, that this is right underneath the flight path. And they will have to be adequately insulated. And I'm guessing probably 30 dB, which means more insulation than you would put into a regular home. The objective is to get it down to 45 dB inside dBA inside the home, and that's in there as I recall, Nikki.
Yes, sir, it is. And actually, when I spoke to the applicant about that, DCA, the program that they're applying for, will also require them to do that. So we'll have double enforcement on that one.
Good, good.
All right. Any other questions for Ms. Washington or Ms. Buckner? Hearing none, I'll go ahead at this time and declare the public hearing open. I know, Ms. Moore, you've already told people in regard to the first public hearing about how to get in, but if you would just go ahead, if someone's joining us a little bit late, let them know how to join us for this public hearing.
You will visit www.collegeparkga.com, click on government at the top of the page, then go down to council meetings. On that page, you will scroll down in the middle of the page to get to the link. Once you click the link, you will be in this meeting. Once you're in this meeting, raise your hand to be acknowledged to leave your public comment. Thank you.
All right, thank you. For those people wishing to speak on this rezoning, please go right ahead and raise your virtual hand. Raise hand is right at the bottom of your screen. You can do so at this time. We'll give people a couple more moments here. All right, seeing no one wishing to participate in the public hearing, I am deeming it closed at this time. Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve with those stipulations.
All right, is there a second? No second on this one?
I'd like to hear what
Second.
I'm sorry?
Second.
Okay,
Yeah, second.
thank you, Councilman Taylor. All right, all those in favor?
I said second.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, all four of you are in favor. Thank you, gentlemen. That passes. Item 8A is consideration of an action on bids received for materials for upcoming construction and maintenance. I believe, Mr. Richardson, this is you. Is that right?
Yes, Mayor, Council. This is some material we're looking to be needing pretty much the next year. Our main concern is, of course, the delivery. Delivery is getting scary on these items, and some, if we approve them, won't be delivered maybe until July next year. So that's why we want to move on this.
All right, any questions for Mr. Richardson?
Mr. Richardson, we didn't have enough for is lighting part of this schedule?
There was some lighting in there, but we're going to rebid that.
Okay, any other questions for Mr. Richardson?
I'll move to approve.
Thank you, Councilman Clay. Thank you, Councilman Gay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Any opposition? I've reversed that. Hearing neither, it was unanimous. Thank you. 8B is consideration of an action on a request for approval of a trial service agreement with Interactive Utility Communications to provide call center services for on-call assistance for power outages at a cost of approximately $9,000 for 90 days. Mr. Richardson?
Yes, Mayor and Council, we discussed this back in June, and there were some questions and concerns, and maybe is it some way we could maybe minimize the number of calls that go through to this company. So we have now set up the recording. When we have a power outage, we can set up a standard recording that will let people know we are aware of power outages, and it'll be 2 hours, whatever, for restoration. They still have the opportunity to talk to a dispatcher If it's a more detailed outage, we can change that recording to let them know more specifically where it's at and what is the cause and how long we think it will be. And they'll still have an opportunity to talk to the dispatcher. So place, we asked them for a 90-day trial with interactive utility communications. I think we need to try this. Public Works Director Melissa E. has had the experience with this company. If you would like to hear her comments on this, but otherwise I can take some more questions on this.
I just had a question. If we approve it, is it $9,000 as a permanent cost to the city every couple months?
No, 9,000 includes a $4,000 setup charge. So if we go beyond the 90 days, if I come, say, person next year for another, say a 12-month, that 4,000 will not happen again.
So we'd be looking at about $5,000 for every 90 days?
Well, it's just an estimate. It all depends on how many calls we get. We don't know how many we're going to be getting through, and this is going to be used by us and at least Public Works for standby time.
So this is not just power outages. This will also be for a tree fell across the road.
Yeah. Yes. Anything after.
Okay. Okay. So I had one question, and I know you responded to it, but I still have a question on that, and I'll get to that in a minute. The concern I have is, do you call just one number and the first thing you hear is the recorded message? And if the recorded message does not answer your question, that yes, we do know about your power outage, and yes, it is going to get fixed in 2 hours or 3 hours or what have you, then you go on, not two different numbers to call.
Right.
Is that the case?
Right. Yeah. You'll press, if you want to talk to a dispatcher, you'll press 2, then you'll get interactive utility communications to give them your information.
Okay, good. And the reason it's an estimate is because we get charged, I don't remember the amount, but it's $1 and some cents per call. And there's a minimum of 1 minute time on the call if you talk for 10 seconds. And that's only if you call through to the dispatcher. You don't get charged to call the information number, correct? To hear the recording.
Right. That's correct.
Okay, so that sounds like about the best possible way to optimize our expenses and make them as predictable as possible. So I'm good. The one thing that I saw on what was it, packet page 256. This was the thing I didn't quite understand. The city of College Park will provide IUC a flat file of premise addresses, et cetera, et cetera. If no file is provided, crews will be required to inform the IUC that the address in question is not a customer for the city of College Park. So I would say with this approval, I would want to make a requirement of whoever makes the motion that we will provide a file. There's no not providing a file.
Oh yeah, we'll do that for sure.
And the second thing is, another way I interpreted it was, if no record, and I think I see now, if I reread it again, that yes, that was a bad interpretation. But what happens if there is no record in the flat file of this customer?
Well, they hopefully will give us an address, and our guy, whoever responds, will know whether it's in our territory or not. It could be a Georgia Power customer. And that's why you got to get the file, because we have some customers in the city that are served by Georgia Power. So that's the key to this. Sure, we don't go out to restore power to one of their customers.
Right. Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Any other questions for Mr. Richardson? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Move to approve.
All right, is there a second? Thank you, Councilman Clay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That's unanimous, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 8C is consideration of an action on a request for approval of a one-year contract extension with Legacy Mechanical Services for HVAC maintenance at the GICC and Arena, plus additional city facilities.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and Council. I would like to go ahead and ask for approval to extend our contract with Legacy for one more year for the facilities that have been listed.
Any questions for Ms. Combs?
I'm sorry, and this is a budgeted item.
Yeah,
Any questions for Ms. Cole?
I had a question and Mercedes answered it. I just want to make sure that Denise is in sync with Mercedes. And that is on the contract for the GICC and the golf course. On the cover page, it says golf course. On the actual first page of what I guess would be the contract attachment, it does not mention the golf course. And I think Mercedes indicated that you were going to change that page so that it does mention it. And we don't have any HVAC there. So it's not like we didn't have chiller. I won't say we don't have HVAC. We don't have a chiller there.
Right.
So that all makes sense. And I just want to make sure everybody's on board that what we're voting for tonight includes that wording change in the contract.
And yes, sir, that will be added with the golf course. That will be as needed.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for that clarification. Any other questions or comments from Ms. Cole? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Allen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. That's unanimous. Item 8D is also with Ms. Cole, consideration of an action on the selection of a new unarmed guard service for the GICC and the Arena.
Yes, Council, Mayor and Council, I would like to ask for approval to move forward with Argosy staffing. They came in at our budget and they are currently one of the companies that we're utilizing for unarmed security for events at the GICC and the Arena. So I would like to ask Council and for your approval to move forward with this company.
Any questions for Ms. Cole?
Yeah, I have one. I know you're using them now. Are these? I got the impression that there was something new about this. Are these the same one that you're primarily using, or is it? Do you use several and you're just picking only one out of the several, or what?
So for contract security, they're primarily the ones that we use. There was a bid process for, there was an open bid process. And out of the bid process, they were the one that came in within budget, but we utilize them for contract security for events. But they have the capability of doing in-house security for the Arena and the GICC.
So who's doing the in-house now?
The company that's doing the in-house security is All in One. They did not bid when the open bid was put out.
Okay, so it is a new group for the in-house, but they are not new to us.
That is absolutely correct, sir.
Okay, that clears it up for me. Thank you.
Any other questions for Ms. Cole?
No, I think they do a good job at the Arena. The times that I've been there, I thought they did an excellent job.
Thank you.
All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Clay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Councilman Allen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That is unanimous. Item 8E is consideration of an action on a request for approval of an agreement of automatic aid between the City of College Park and the City of East Point and the City of Hapeville to provide and receive additional emergency response coverage for each jurisdiction automatically. Chief Elmore.
Yes, ma'am. This agreement is between the three cities, College Park.
You're breaking up.
Yeah, Chief, I'm having some issues with your audio, but let me start it this way. Does anyone have any questions for Chief Elmore about this?
No, I think it's a no-brainer.
I think it's a no-brainer as well. All right. We'll save the technical difficulties. And is there a motion?
So moved.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Taylor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, that is unanimous as well. We have no old business. We don't have any new business. City Attorney's report.
No report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. City Manager's report.
Nothing to report.
All right. Thank you. Report of Mayor and Council. Councilman Clay.
Okay, I have several items. I'll try to make it quick. First item, in preparation for the second public hearing on the battery and energy storage system. This is a fairly complicated project from an approval standpoint, as I see it. And I think it's a wonderful thing for the environment. It's complex. There have been some issues throughout the country with a kind of facility like this. And if we're going to implement it from my standpoint, we have to do it safely. So I think we have a ethical responsibility to the citizens of South Fulton who are going to live close to it. And in fact, we just approved something tonight that is also going to be not quite so close, but it's going to be in the general area that will have a residence as well in the city of College Park. But we also have a fiduciary responsibility to the city. It would be real easy to simply say, well, we won't worry about making it safe. We just won't allow it. And I think the benefit to the environment and the financial benefit to the city warrants us to do our best job to make a fair judgment as to whether we can build this safely or whether it can be built safely. So we've had a consultant, we've had a lot of different people look into this. God knows I've looked into it. And what I have concluded is at this point that when we write up our requirements for approving this, assuming well, it's going to come into a public hearing and there will be at the end of that, the possibility that it's approved. The requirements that Nikki is going to be carrying the ball on, I think, Nikki, you drew the short straw on this. You're going to be carrying the ball, but you need a lot of help. And I think the primary help will be coming from the city attorney and the fire department. But several different organizations are involved. I'm going to suggest that what we do is we put together the approval requirements for this in an actual attachment document form, so that instead of just mixing it in with the report and we keep adding pieces, I had something I wanted added, the fire department has things to add, from a traffic standpoint, we have things to add. I know Mr. Hicks has things that he wanted in there from a cybersecurity standpoint, not our cybersecurity standpoint, but we have to worry about their cybersecurity as well. And to be honest with you, I'm bound and determined, if I'm going to approve this, I got to feel it's safe. And so I'm suggesting that we let Nikki create a structured document that would have, let's say, a section on fire and explosion. And it would have a section on traffic, because there were some issues with traffic in the area, entrances and so forth. And a section maybe on cybersecurity. And so Nikki would be the quarterback, and she'd be working with certainly Artie Jones for many of the planning issues. That's another area that needs to be included in there. So we'd actually have maybe a 2 or 3 page document that would become part of the motion and would be what Next Era would have to sign up to agree to do if they're going to meet our requirements. And I wanted to bring that up to the council, because I'm only one vote. But if it's going to get my vote, I want it to be organized, and so that there's no confusion. There's no ambiguity. We say exactly what we're expecting out of this. So I just throw that out first. That's my first thing. And I'll anybody that wants to respond to it, jump in.
Anyone have anything to add?
Does anybody say, no, don't do that?
No, I think it's important if we do it, and I think it's important to do our due diligence. We need to be looking at everything, like you said, that we dot all of our I's and we cross all of our T's and we look at every single thing before we make a decision. This is very, very important for a lot of reasons, either way. So I think we need to hear everything that we can possibly hear. And again, dot all of our I's and cross all of our T's before making decisions.
Ken, personally, I think I've been on council for almost 14 years now, and I think this is the most complex zoning decision that I've ever seen come before council while I've been on. So yeah, okay. Let me move on to the second item. We've had some branches down at Barrett Park for weeks. And first off, I'd like to commend our Public Works Department. I think the response, Melissa Echeverria has done just a fantastic job of responding quickly to things. So it's not intended as a criticism, but because I know I reported some things on Barrett Park and they got cleaned up real fast. But what I don't understand, we've had some branches on this one tree that have been bent down, and now they're even more bent down. They're dead, they're lying on the ground. And I guess what I'm concerned about is I shouldn't have to report that. You know, citizens can and should if they find it necessary. But, you know, we ought to be reporting that ourselves. And maybe we are, and maybe there's some reason we just haven't gotten around to it. But this is, and this is not even directed just at the Barrett Park issue that I brought up. This is just in general. We need to be proactive and as much as possible. And I think the iNotify app goes a long way to doing that. And I've talked to Michael Hicks about capability. I have a problem. I walk every day. I walk 1.5 miles, 2 miles a day, and I can report 2 or 3 things on any walk. But every time I go to use the app, it doesn't know who I am. I have to go in, key in my email address, put in my password while I'm trying to walk along, and then take a picture, and that the picture is good. All the rest of it's good. But I have deposit apps. I have bank apps on my phone. All I have to do is look at my phone and I can deposit checks. So why does it even need a password from me? And why can't it be set up so it recognizes that, yes, it's Clay's app and it's on his phone and he logged in once and set up an account and it knows who I am and it doesn't need a password, because we want to make this thing easy for people to use. And I can tell you, I went by the park today and I said, the heck with it. I'm not going to report those branches. So Michael and I have talked about this before, I mean, earlier today, and he's definitely looking into it. But I just wanted to still put that in my report that we need as many, and Michael even said it himself, we need as many eyes and ears on the ground as possible. We're a little short-staffed these days. And to the extent that the citizens can help us, we need the help. Let us know when you see something, and let's make it as easy as possible for them. So I hope you will indulge Michael to come back and maybe make some suggestions as to the iNotify people to get that fixed. And I think that's it. That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Councilman Clay. Councilman Taylor.
Yes, I just want to kind of go back with the cottage home that we just approved today. Like once again, I'm against it. I think that we just put in some legislation a few months back that a person that already got a structure in their backyard, they can't have a kitchen or bathroom or something like that. And some of these structures, some of these homes in College Park, bigger than 300 square feet and 800 square feet. So we're gonna allow somebody to come in and build a cottage home, 300 square feet. But we got citizens that's been living here with 400 or 500 square feet, garage in their backyard, or 2-car garage, whatever you want to call it, in their backyard, but they can't do what they want to do and they've been living here. I think we saying one thing and doing another. We voting about stuff and it's not even making sense. You know what I mean? I don't know where we going with this, and that's just my suggestion. We made a bad deal by doing this. I don't understand why we did it. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Allen?
I can say why I voted for it.
The vote's over. But we're just on the report of
Well,
mayor and council.
I would like to hear what you guys
Gentlemen, you can have this conversation offline. Like, we're just here for the reports. Councilman Allen, the floor is yours.
Okay, I would like to thank Human Resources, seeing the new employees come on board, and we've got a lot of new people that came on board this past month, and you know, welcome every single one of you. You're coming into a great city, and a good example of an employee that has just done an excellent job, I think. And I just need to mention, you know, Melissa Echeverria has just done an outstanding job since she's been on board. She's a new employee with a lot of energy. A lot of people are jumping behind her and seeing some things done. Like Councilman Gay said, Clay said, we need to all be looking at some of these projects that we have, or thoughts that we have as we see them, and make sure that we let the right people know. Go into your app. I know it might be a little complicated, but it also gives us a record of what's been reported. So please go on board. We've got a couple of power programs this week going on. We've got a fire prevention week going on this week. And we have a customer service week going on this week. And just remind people that are out there, when you see the fire, when you see the power, or when you drive up to pay your bill, just thank the employees. It's appreciated, and it goes a long way. So one concern I see, and I think we need to take a look at it, is homelessness, and we need to kind of look at that in the future, and maybe have some thoughts about that. It kind of bothers me when you drive down the road and you see people sleeping on benches, and what scares me the most is somebody's going to come up and startle them, and they're going to jump up with a knife or a gun or something like that. So we need to take a look at the homeless. I know it's a big issue all over the state, all over the world right now, but we need to take a look at and see what we can do with some of these people. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Councilman Allen. Councilman Gay?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I just had a few things. First off, I want to thank the employees and mostly the directors who participated in the Ward 4 town hall meeting. They were extremely professional. They provided good information, high energy, and I'm just really thankful for their cooperation and their professionalism. The second person I want to thank is on Roosevelt Highway. We have been wanting the dense brush cut back for almost 3 years, and the new building and ground superintendent made it happen. I was surprised. I was riding by Saturday and I thought it was another organization. It was us, and it's just amazing that they would be able to do that. I would recommend that they contact CSX Railroad. I can provide them with their number and see if there's any way that we can get any type of compensation for doing it, because they do share some of that responsibility. And thirdly, this is an election season, and I noticed that the previous ward I had 3,100 is still showing in the vote data as Ward 4. I just want to make sure everybody vote get count. So we probably just need to make sure that the registration and elections knows that that's not Ward 4. And if there's any way we can inform the citizens on early voting. There's no early voting in College Park, and I'm getting calls from people. Where do they vote? I myself, I'm not even really clear if we can vote at all those locations that's on that early voting sheet. So I wish that we could do some kind of outreach just to educate the community on where to vote. And the last thank you is, believe it or not, to the police department. So on Thursday night, I was on Herschel Road, and a chicken was on the road, and people was going all around the bird. And I decided to try and pick the bird up, and the police officer happened to pull up. He put his light on, and he stopped the traffic while we caught the chicken, and he put the chicken in the back of his car and took the chicken to animal control. And I know that's a peculiar story, but it just shows that our staff just do some amazing things, and that's all I have.
I heard about that chicken. I heard about half of that, but I had heard they said there was a councilman involved, and I was like, but no council members live on Herschel. What's happening? So thank you for clarifying that. But the story gets better. But I think it is a great illustration of the dedication that we have throughout this city and the folks who choose to serve the community by working for the city of College Park. So I just have a few things. Number 1 and number 2 are in relation to proclamations we gave 2 weeks ago. One of them was to Jane Randolph in recognition of Jane Randolph Day, which we commemorated last week. Sadly, she passed away over the weekend, but the celebration itself and the outpouring from the community to show their appreciation for her years of service and dedication to this city was, I think, probably something you'd only see here, and a real testament to her enduring legacy. Now that she's passed on, we have so many things to be grateful for, and I'm so glad that she was able to embrace that outpouring of love from the entire city. So the second proclamation that we discussed at our previous meeting was for Thomas Kennedy, Sampson, and Tompkins. They celebrated their 50th anniversary over the weekend. Councilman Clay and I were there, and it was just such a wonderful celebration of a law firm that has meant so much to the entire Metro Atlanta region and beyond. And you wouldn't necessarily think of it when you pass them on Main Street, but it is an institution. And it was such a great opportunity for the entire community to gather in celebration of 50 years of excellence in the legal field. And I thought, Councilman Clay, I'm sure I think we discussed this at the event, that they commemorated 4 employees who have a combined 175 years of service to the firm. One of them who'd worked there for the entire 50 years. And so I think that says something not only about these individual employees, but that work environment and the great work that they're doing at TKST. So congratulations again to them. I will be having office hours on October 14th from 1 to 5 and October 25th from 8 to 5. Feel free to call 404-669-3755 to get an appointment. Look forward to talking to as many of you that want to come and see me. We still have spots on our youth council available. The deadline was September 30th. Thank you, Ms. Moore. Yes, it has been extended. So you can go ahead and email cityclerk@collegeparkga.com and sign up for the youth council. We've got students in our city in the 8th through 12th grades who can contribute, and we want you to be a part to learn more about how this city works and learn more about how cities across Georgia are working. And speaking of cities, there are lots of things going on this week, and one of them is Georgia Cities Week. If you look at our backgrounds, you can also see that as well. And there are a number of events going on for Georgia Cities Week. We've posted those on social media. I know that there's an opportunity to do some rock wall climbing and some other physical activities, and there's just a lot of great things going on. Georgia Cities Week is being celebrated throughout the state because all 537 of Georgia cities have so many things to offer, and it's a great opportunity to celebrate them. And lastly, I just wanted to reiterate what Chief Elmore was saying about the smoke detector installation, because this is a great opportunity this week to make sure that you've got the proper safety precautions in your own home, and our fire professionals will come out and install those for you. And Chief, let me make sure I've got that number correct, that it is 404-766-8248 to get an appointment to get those smoke detectors installed. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, because that's a hugely important thing. And if we can prevent any injuries or deaths because of prevention, we should do that. And I hope that you will pass that along to your friends and neighbors as well, that is an opportunity that is taking place this week. Thank you, Ms. Moore. You can see there's a whole bunch of things planned. We've got a walk cleanup on the South Side corridor on the 7th. And the community shredded day. People love this day because it is phenomenal. Take all your things that you've been meaning to shred that you haven't had the opportunity. You can do that from 9 to 2 on Saturday. So make sure that you take advantage. There's a lot of great things going on in our city, and we want you to be a part of all of them. So I think the next thing that we need to address are the executive session minutes.
Move to approve.
Is there a second? Councilman Allen, you were muted. I believe that you were.
I'll second.
Thank you, sir. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, that's unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen. And we have one item out of executive session. That is cybersecurity issue A.
I move to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Councilman Allen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That is unanimous as well. I believe that concludes our business this evening. It is 9:02 p.m. and we are adjourned. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks. Take care, everybody.
Night all.
Aye.